Good evening, ladies, gents, non-binaries. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Wednesday, October 26th, 2022. We're going to do my tight ends and quarterback, spikes and yikes, and we're going to get the top 10 list, all that stuff, all that good stuff. But first, I want to get something out of the way. I know very few people watch this, but I just want to get it off my chest. There seems to be a strong narrative that I hate women or don't respect women or whatever the case may be. That is not true. I talk to women the same way I talk to men and women the same way. I'm a little bit abrasive. It's not that I intend to be abrasive. It's just that I'm just not a person I'm not fake. I don't hide my feelings, and I don't mask my annoyance or frustration. If like you approach me when I'm angry or frustrated, you're gonna get a tone that isn't necessarily the kindest. Okay, but it does seem that younger women get the brunt of it mostly, and I think it's because they don't know how to communicate. Like men know how to communicate with each other pretty well, so it's like, like they don't take offense to my tone most of the time, or older women, because they usually have children. They've learned patience. They've learned how to communicate, right? So it's the younger women who seem to be the ones who get offended, when really I'm not treating them any differently than I'm treating anybody else. Moving on, let's get to the tight ends and quarterbacks. Oh, I did go out at like 2:30 until 5:30 today for Uber, which is really not the most ideal window of time, and it was really slow, but I did end up with 5 deliveries, which were pretty good. 5 pretty good deliveries. I think I'm still waiting for my final count of tips to come in, but I should end up with $45 through 3 hours, so $15 an hour. Not great, but not horrible. And then I'm going to go back out later tonight after dark. Hopefully the weather continues to cooperate and it doesn't piss on me. I'm fine with a little sprinkle, something that doesn't make the roads disgusting and hard to see and all that stuff. Something I can keep my window rolled down for too, because I have I think this car was in an accident maybe, or the driver's side door is not the original door, because my window, when it's rolled up, there's just massive amount of annoying wind noise. So I like to leave it rolled down, cracked a little bit, because I like the air, for one, but for two also, so I don't have to listen to it, because it annoys me. So when it's downpouring, I have to listen to it. I have to listen to the screeching alternator or whatever the hell that is, and I have to listen to the whistling wind on my over here. It's annoying, so I like it when I can keep my window cracked. Dinner is usually pretty lucrative. Late nights usually pretty lucrative. So yeah, and let's do the quarterbacks first. All right, so the top 10 list for week 8, we got a couple of guys coming back off bye who are back atop the list. We got Josh Allen of the Bills and Jalen Hurts of the Eagles at 1 and 2. The Josh Allen will be facing the Packers at home, and Jalen Hurts will be facing the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And then at 3, we got Joe Burrow up at 3. He's finally making his appearance in the top 5 at the Cleveland Browns. Number 4, we got Lamar Jackson versus Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. 5, we got Tua in Detroit against the anemic, bad Lions defense. 6, we got Kyler Murray in Minnesota against the Vikings. Daniel Jones at 7 in Seattle. Then at 8, we got Tom Brady versus the Ravens. 9, we got Geno Smith versus the New York Giants. And then at 10, we got Kirk Cousins at home versus the Cardinals. So my Yikes on this list. We're starting with Daniel Jones. I do think Daniel Jones is going to be a very good streamer this week. And if you're hard up, like if you got Justin Herbert on bye, or I'm trying to think of some Patrick Mahomes, you need a guy. Daniel Jones is probably your best option, and he does get a lot done with his ability to run. He's a very athletic, very good scrambling white boy quarterback. So Seattle's defense is not anything special. So Daniel Jones could have a top 10 week. He may have a top 10 week. I like some other guys a little bit better, but I think Daniel Jones is right outside that top 10 or borderline top 10. So if you need a streamer and a guy who will be widely available, Daniel Jones is your best bet. And then Tom Brady at 8, I don't get it. He's still in the top 10 list. He hasn't really been a QB1 yet this year, and the Ravens defense is pretty solid. So I don't necessarily think Tom Brady's going to have a top 10 week this week either. I would go with Daniel Jones over Tom Brady this week. Honestly, Daniel Jones is I'd probably have him at 10 or 11. But yeah, I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like Tom Brady. I never have liked Tom Brady, but I don't. He used to be decent enough in fantasy, but this year, want no part of him. And then my spikes, 2 guys outside the top 10 who should probably be at least under consideration. We got Dak Prescott at 11 versus the Bears. I think Dak struggled last week because he was still not 100%. And maybe this week he's still not 100%, but I do anticipate a much better day for Dak. The rust is gone. The thumb may not be 100%, but the rust is gone. I feel like he's a pretty safe pick to put back in that top 10. And then, down at 25, you got Justin Fields, who is a terrible quarterback, terrible real-life quarterback. Probably never going to be very good. But in fantasy, he has put up 3 straight games of 17 points or more. It's pretty decent. If you're really hard up, desperate for a streamer this week, Justin Fields is one of the better options out there, along with Daniel Jones and maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. Now for the tight ends, your top 10 list. Number 1 is Mark Andrews, coming off a 0-catch goose egg last week against Tampa Bay. Number 2, we got Zach Ertz in Minnesota against the Vikings. 3, we got George Kittle at the Los Angeles Rams. 4, we got Tyler Higbee versus the 49ers. 5, we got TJ Hawkinson versus the Dolphins. 6, we got Pat Freiermuth at Philadelphia. Damn it. I started talking, and my voice wants to get off, like my throat wants to get off, plugged up. 7, Dallas Goedert versus the Steelers. 8, Darren Waller should be good to go this week after being hurt last week. So he's had 2 weeks off. He should be good to go against the Saints. 9, we got Kyle Pitts versus the Carolina Panthers. And 10, we got Mike Gesicki of the Dolphins in Detroit against the Lions. So I got a few problems with this list. Number 1, the top yike, Mark Andrews. Like, I know he's I'm worried about his performance last week. He didn't do anything. He dropped every pass that was thrown to him. Okay, and then he's hurt. He hasn't practiced this week. It's a short week. They play tomorrow. So I know that he didn't practice Monday and Tuesday. I don't know about today. I didn't check for an update today. I'm assuming that he practiced today. I'm assuming he's good to be good. He's good to go. I'm not super worried about the injury. I'm just the lack of production last week, the lack of practice, the short week, the good defense that is Tampa has me really concerned for Mark Andrews this week. He's definitely not the number 1 tight end of the week, although I don't know who would be because there's no Travis Kelce. But I guess it'd be Zach Ertz. But I'm hoping Zach Ertz doesn't have that awesome of a day against my team. Although I do have a lot of shares of Zach Ertz. I will be starting Zach Ertz. I want Ertz to have a decent day. I don't want Zach Ertz to have like number one tight end a monster day, because that probably means my Vikings are going to lose. It's just not honestly not the best week for tight ends in my opinion. Especially we got Kelsey on bye, and then you got some major concerns with Mark Andrews in my opinion. So the two studs of the season. This shirt is making me itch. I don't get what it is. I did not shave today, so I know it's not that. I've had the shirt for years, like a decade maybe, and it has never bothered me before. I don't know what's going on. Although I did use some new laundry soap yesterday. It's supposed to be for sensitive skin stuff. Nah, this wasn't in that load. That's not what the problem is. My next yike is gonna be Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna be yiking Kyle Pitts probably all year because he's just not performing. Like, I understand the potential, I understand the talent that he has, the beast of a human being that he is, a freak of nature, but the Falcons aren't getting him the ball. They don't seem concerned with getting the ball at all. They don't want to use the best offensive weapons they have. I don't get it. I don't think Arthur Smith's going to survive this year. Or he might make it through this year, but he's not going to be the coach next year. So yeah, I don't like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is not a top 10 tight end for me right now. And until we see him do it and start producing, like even just a modest amount, he's not going to be on my top 10 list. He's off my top 10 list. And then Mike Gesicki, I understand he's a top 10 guy because of there's no Travis Kelce this week, and no Gerald Everett this week, and he's facing the Lions, but I still don't trust him. I still would not personally start him myself. He just has his production, kind of like Kyle Pitts, has just been really, really bad, and so it's. I mean, if this might be the week you have to start him, especially against a matchup like the Lions, but it just really depends on what else is out there. I'm going to offer you some alternatives. My 3 spikes. 3 guys outside the top 10 who could be top 10 quarterbacks this week, starting with number 12, rookie Greg Dulcich of the Broncos in London against the Jaguars. Greg Dulcich has only played 2 games so far this year, but they've been really, his production's been really nice, really pleasant to see, and I think that's going to continue across the pond. Damn. Even whether or not Russell Wilson plays for the team, I think Greg Dulcich has established himself as a weapon in that passing game. And then 13, Dalton Schultz versus the Bears. The Dalton Schultz drop-off coincided with the Dak Prescott injury. Dak Prescott's now back on the field. Dak Prescott's healthy, comfortable. Same situation with Dalton Schultz. He's healthier. The rust is off. The chemistry is there. We know the chemistry is there. I think Dalton Schultz, and we did see some pretty decent production from him last week, which was a positive sign. He's trending up. Dalton Schultz is a top 10 tight end this week to me over a guy like Kyle Pitts. And then Irv Smith at 15. We saw what Juwan Johnson did to that defense last week. We've seen what tight ends have done to the Cardinals for years. Irv Smith, a pretty good streaming candidate for you this week if you need to replace Travis Kelce or Gerald Everett. Dulcich, great one. Irv Smith's a great one. I would probably start Irv Smith over Mike Gesicki, definitely over Kyle Pitts. Those guys this week. Yeah, but that's a call between you, Gesicki, Irv Smith. What do you want to do? What are you going to do? I mean, both tight ends have had pretty pedestrian numbers up to this point. I mean, they're pretty even so far statistically this year. They both have a good matchup. It's just about who do you feel is going to have the better day. My opinion, Irv Smith, but I could be just a biased Vikings fan, so it's up to you to decide. But I am going to end it. I don't really have anything better to do. I'm not going back out to Uber for a little bit. And I just ate. I had some nacho fries from Taco Bell. I never go to Taco Bell anymore. Their food is just garbage. And it's been going downhill for a long time. And now that I've had like real Mexican food, Taco Bell just doesn't even come close to doing it for me. But when the nacho fries are on the menu, I will go there and get some nacho fries. So, yeah, so peace, love, and nacho fries, I guess. Stay blessed. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow with wide receivers, probably. Maybe I'll get running backs done tomorrow too, so I don't have to worry about it when I am traveling. But it also would be kind of cool to film something, in Minnesota. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following, subscribing, whatever it is you're doing.